Hello. I think that the best thing that you can do for yourself is to be honest to yourself completely, or as much as you can. In time, you will be able to be more honest. Honesty to others is not so important. Sometimes it is not worth it to be completely honest to others. It could be a waste of time and energy, and some people might not even understand you or believe your honesty. I think it's okay to be dishonest about small things sometimes, but about important things, we should always be honest to others, no matter where that gets us. And how do we recognize those important things? Well, you will know if you're honest to yourself. Now, one of the common arguments in favor of lying people use is I was lying to protect you. And it's always funny for me to hear that because I don't think it works. Or if it does, it's very rare. I don't remember when lying to protect someone in the end didn't do more damage than the truth would. Because lying just creates more and more problems. And when you are honest, you just have to deal with the first main problem. We lie to others because we want to protect them from the suffering they would feel because they cannot accept the truth. So this is the problem. They are not honest to themselves. That's why they would suffer. But still, I would give them the truth. It will create less problems. Just give them the truth and support them if needed. Try to guide them to the acceptance of it. Show them in your own example how honesty can be liberating. If this works, if you're trying with honesty and still they cannot accept their problems and solutions you're trying to present to them, then I think it's just better to stop and not say anything more than lie to them. And even to children, I think it's better not to lie to them, to protect them. I would rather not say anything or say something like, I'll tell you in a few years, you will not understand this, you're not ready for this now, rather than lying to them. And tell them with respect. No, don't tell them you will not understand this. Show them respect. Tell them no with respect. And if they still insist that you explain, then try to explain them and see how well they could understand. And maybe they even surprise you how well they can understand. Now, one of the most important things that honesty will give us is the ability to recognize and accept what we can do and what we cannot do at that moment or in time. What I hear almost every day is people saying something they cannot do, but at the same time I can see that they can do it or they could in time. What they actually mean is they don't want to do that. They are not able to admit to themselves that they could do it because they are not willing to invest enough time and energy required for that. There's a important thing to recognize here is a difference between not being able to do something and not wanting to do something. You don't have to do anything, but at least you should admit to yourself what you can do and what you do not wish to do. This is very important because when you reach high enough level of honesty to yourself, then you will want to do everything that you can, no matter what is required for that. Now, another important thing that honesty will give us is the ability to admit to ourselves what we know and what we do not know. In today's age of the internet and such a vast amount of information available for us to consume, we need to recognize the things that we know and do not know. So we need to recognize, just because we have information about something, that does not mean that we know that thing or that we understand that. For example, if you like cooking and you watch many videos about people making meals, just because you watch those videos, it does not mean that you know how to cook those meals. You need to try to make them to know that you can. And you need to see that information you gathered from those videos are accurate in the first place. And you can only know that by trying. So knowing comes only through your own experience. And other things that we hear or read, we do not know how accurate they are. We may trust the source of the information if we know that source well enough or long enough, but we should still not completely believe that things are the way they are, how we hear them to be, or that things happen the way we hear. We should not make conclusions that we know. We should stay on maybe. So stay on maybe knowing. We may know that things are maybe that way, and things maybe happened the way we heard they happen. And what maybe is giving us is not thinking in terms of black and white and true or not true. With maybe, we are thinking in probabilities. How likely that thing happened, or how likely that some parts of that could be true. So you have to, and when you have something very important, then you research more, you find more sources of information, you listen to different people to hear different perspectives, and you try to carefully listen to the arguments they are making and see if they make sense to you. So honesty, I think it's not so simple, and the reason is language. Language is limiting and words are limiting, and we are not using words precisely. We do not say exactly what we mean. Sometimes it is hard to find the right words, and many people are not very capable of expressing themselves with words. And even if you manage to express yourself fantastically, there's still a chance that we may not be understood properly, because words could be interpreted in many different ways. Our relationship with words is not the same. The meaning of the words is not the same from person to person. That's funny to realize. So you need to remember to be precise with your words, especially when you are communicating. You need to remember that the words can be misunderstood. And even if you are just being honest to yourself, you should be precise with words. What we do often is we exaggerate things and we generalize things, saying things like, that is always like that, or everything is like this, or everybody is doing this, or all men are like this, or all women are like that, and so on. This is dishonest. This is how you move away from the truth and from honesty. So try to be precise with your words. And what this precision will accomplish is, in time, you will develop a different kind of mindset. In time, you will be able to see things more clearly, and you will see more solutions for the problems. And then you will be able to do more things and be more successful at everything. And I know this because I'm speaking from my own experience. This works for me. And for me, honesty is the most important foundation for development and success. And among many other successes, I think that honesty has helped me to become a more healthier person. I realized that I want to be healthier. I observed myself honestly, and I saw that everything is better when I'm healthier. I can think more clearly when I'm healthier. I can use my body better when I'm healthier. I have more will to do things when I'm healthier. I'm happier, my smile is bigger, and I enjoy everything more when I'm healthier. And that's why I took full responsibility for my health. And after so many years, every year now I'm more healthier and healthier. And I always try to find more ways to be healthier. And I try many different exercises and morning routines and sleeping and food. And always try to experiment with those things. And I'm trying to recognize what are my unhealthy habits and slowly getting rid of them one by one. And after so many years, I lost so many, and now it's fantastic to live like this. And another funny thing that is always when I remember that I drink water because of honesty. For most of the time I drink only water. And this is because one time I decided to find out what is the best drink. Not what I like the best, but what is the best drink for my body. So I tried many things, and while observing myself honestly, I've come to realize that water is the best. Water has the best effect on myself. And now I care about the quality of water I'm drinking. And I have my water bottle. It's made from stainless steel. It's fantastic quality. That's one of the best containers for the water. And I have had it for many years, and I wash it regularly, and I fill it up every day before I go to bed. Because I heard that when water stays in a container for some times, that slowly it start to lose, it purifies itself from impurities that come from going through pipes. And I think that is probably true, because water has a better taste after staying in a container, in a bottle, for several hours. So another important thing that honesty has shown me is the very important mechanism of life, and that is action-reaction. Or you could say it in other words, like everything happens for a reason. For every cause there is an effect. So there are causes and effects all around us, action and reactions. They're happening all around us all the times, and they are connected in many ways. And we may not be able to see all those connections and understand them, but they are still here, happening all the time. And we could find some of them that we have interest in with enough research and experimentation. But the most important thing I realize about action and reaction is that for whatever I want, there is a way to get there. So whatever reaction I want, there is an action for that. And all I need to do is find a way to get there. See, all I need to find an action required for that reaction. And for that, I need to find enough information to be able to reach my goal. But more important thing for me, for my experience, in my experience at least, is experimentation. And by experimenting and failing, I'm able to observe myself and gather more information. It's much better to gather information from your experimentation, from your own experience, than just for listening to others. And through those information, you learn and find different ways to do things. And I do this at my own pace. I do not compare myself to others. So doing things at my own pace, with enough time and energy, I know that I can reach any goal I set. And finally, honestly, observing my actions and reactions, I'm able to recognize which of them are harmful and which of them are useful. And I do not wish to do harm, and I do not wish to be unhealthy. So I avoid the actions that cause that. That's all. Thank you for listening. If you thought this video was interesting and useful, share it with someone. And remember, honesty to ourselves is the most important foundation for development and for losing our delusions.